Hey friends, welcome to the Beloved Follower, where we walk fruitful, restored forward in Christ. I'm Amy, and I'm so thankful you're here. When the Lord transforms your heart, it feels like something you can't keep to yourself. But I want to be honest, fruitful, restored forward isn't something I can do on my own. It's only in Christ. When He begins something new in us, I believe it's meant to overflow and touch the lives of others. If God's been stirring something new in your life, I'd love to hear what that looks like for you. Even if it's just a word, feel free to share. I truly believe that those small moments of reflection can encourage others too. And if you feel led, like the video or subscribe. I'm excited to see where the Lord takes this, and I'd love for you to walk this journey with me. Welcome, and thank you for spending this time with me. I truly believe the Lord is restoring dreams. I'm so excited for what I'm going to share today. And I believe He's restoring dreams, not just for some, but for all of us. There's a sense that promises God once spoke over our lives are beginning to surface. Take a moment to reflect. Can you feel that stirring in your heart? Maybe it's been quiet, just under the surface. A reminder that what God placed inside of you isn't forgotten. Isaiah 58:12, this is the New Living Translation, says, "Some of you will rebuild the deserted ruins of your cities. Then you will be known as a rebuilder of walls and a restorer of homes." Let that sink in for a moment. God sees us as rebuilders, restorers, whether that's within our homes, our communities, or beyond. His restoration has no limits. What if the very thing that you've been holding on to, that dream, that promise, is meant to bring life to more than just you? If this is speaking to you, I'd love for you to like the video and subscribe. It helps create a space where we can continue encouraging one another as we walk out our dreams that God is restoring in us. Now, in the ESV translation, let's take a deeper look at Isaiah 58:12. It says, and your ancient ruins shall be rebuilt. You shall raise up the foundations of many generations. You shall be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of streets to dwell in. I'm going to say it again. And your ancient ruins shall be rebuilt. You shall raise up the foundations of many generations. You shall be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of streets to dwell in. Let's pause right there. Repairer of the breach. In Hebrew, the word for breach is peretz, meaning a gap, break, or rupture. It describes areas where something's missing, a broken section in a wall, a vulnerability left open. Reflect on that for a moment. Is there a breach in your life or in your heart? Maybe in your family, your relationships, or even in your community. Being a repairer of the breach means stepping into those gaps.
It's standing in broken places and allowing God to use us to restore, heal, and rebuild. I feel like this is something the Lord is pressing into right now. Not just for me, but all of us. There are areas where God is asking us to step into restoration. It can feel overwhelming. Sometimes the breach looks too big and we don't know where to start. But God gently reminds us, don't focus on the size of the breach, focus on Him. Nehemiah saw the broken walls of Jerusalem and it burdened him deeply. But Nehemiah didn't wait for someone else to fix it. He started with prayer, trusting that God would lead him step by step. Where is God asking us to rebuild? Is there a relationship, a calling, or a dream that we've set aside because it feels too broken? Zechariah 4:10, do not despise these small beginnings, for the Lord rejoices to see the work begin. Picture the Israelites standing in front of the temple ruins. The task seemed impossible. The foundation they were laying looked small compared to what once stood there. But God rejoiced simply because they began. And I feel that that applies to us too, because sometimes the hardest part is getting started. But God delights in that first step. Think about it. Is there something small God is asking you to start? Maybe a conversation, a new habit, or returning to a dream you thought was lost. Every small beginnings carry kingdom weight. Is there a place in your life where God might be calling you to rebuild or repair? Maybe He's reigniting a dream or nudging you toward healing in an area you've avoided. If something is stirring in your heart, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Let's create a space where we can pray for and encourage one another. And if this speaks to your heart, let me know by liking the video. It's a way of saying, yes, I hear this and I'm standing with it. I truly believe that this is a season where God is raising up builders, people who carry His heart and are sensitive to His leading. Not everyone sees the breaches around them, but God highlights them to those who sit with Him in the quiet place. If that resonates with you, lean into it. It doesn't matter if no one else sees the work you're doing. God sees. It doesn't matter if no one else sees the work you're doing. God sees. Every prayer, every act of faith, every brick laid in obedience carries spiritual weight. Pause for a second and ask the Lord, where are you calling me to rebuild? Let that question linger. And here's what I'd love for us to do after this video. Take a moment to sit with the Lord. Ask Him to reveal the breaches in your life or the areas that He's calling you to rebuild. Write them down. Pray over them. Listen. And if you feel led, share one thing in the comments that God is highlighting to you. It could be a restored dream, a new step, or even something that you're believing for. Let's build this space into a community of encouragement. I believe that God is faithful to complete what He starts. Every breach repaired, every wall rebuilt, is a testimony of His grace and power at work in us. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I want to pray for you. I want to pray that this touches your heart and that God would reveal His heart, restore your dreams, and give you the courage to step forward. God bless you. And I look forward to hearing what God is doing in your life. And let's continue this journey together, fruitful, restored forward in Christ.